Hello and welcome to Pillars of Wealth Creation, where we talk about creating financial success with a special focus on business and real estate. I'm your host, Todd Dexheimer. Now, let's get to it. Hey, so I just got back from 3 days of due diligence and just wanted to talk about the importance of due diligence. Now, I think it was Monday, I posted a video and I was talking about doing secret shopping. That's a big part of due diligence, in my opinion. You've got to understand what's going on in the neighborhood. And it's nice to look at the comps. It's nice to look on the internet, see what's going on, get some reports. But it's also really helpful to actually show up on the building, at the building or buildings that are your comps, and get a feel for the management styles, get a feel for what they're actually offering that's maybe not even being advertised. If they're actually offering some concessions or anything like that, how many units they have available, what's being said, like what kind of discounts are they giving us? Maybe advertised rent is $1,200, so you go, oh, they're charging $1,200, but when you get there, they go, we do have a special. If you sign a lease within 48 hours, you can lease this place for $1,150. Well, that's a big difference, right? And that's going to hurt your comps, and that's going to need to be taken into account as you're looking at your pro forma. So that's really important. Next thing we want to do is our physical due diligence. And I'll talk today mostly about physical due diligence because that's what I was doing. Of course, we want to look through lease audits and all that kind of stuff. But physical due diligence is extremely important. We want to make sure we've got the right people in place during our physical due diligence. And so super important is to have anybody there that's going to be inspecting the property. I like to have them all there while I'm there if possible, right? So we had somebody inspecting the roof. We did core samples, inspect the roof. We want somebody to inspect this one. This has elevators. We want a full elevator inspection. We want to make sure our HVAC systems were working properly. So we're having a full HVAC inspection, right? We want to make sure our plumbing's working properly. So we're having full plumbing inspection. Sewer scope, really important. Sewer scope is super important, especially on older properties where tree roots can get in the sewers. Even properties that are 20 years old, you can have tree roots get in the system and really cause some major issues. So we want to be making sure all that is set up, and then we want to physically walk every single unit. And I think that's super important. Somebody on your team needs to be physically walking all the units and making detailed notes. We want to look at everything. We want to turn on the plumbing fixtures. We want to ask the tenant questions. We want to really dig in. One of the things that every unit that had a tenant home, we were asking that question: what's wrong with your apartment? Any issues that you're having? And the tenants open up. The tenants want to tell you everything, especially on a property like this where the tenants have kind of been abused for the last several years and none of their renovations were getting done. And so they're telling us, about the leaks. They're telling us about the HVAC issues. They're telling us everything that's going on, so we know what are we getting ourselves into, because these tenants, they love to tell us the problems, right? They love to tell us everything that's wrong. The most important part on physical due diligence is that you have professionals there to help you. Don't try to do it yourself. I'm a general contractor. I understand construction. I understand what's going on with building components, but I wouldn't dare go through an entire building myself and try to actually think I'm going to catch everything. No, I need checks and balances. So am I going to be looking at things? Am I going to be walking the entire building? Am I going to be walking the units? Absolutely. And I'm going to be making my own notes, but then I'm going to compare those to the notes of the professionals and the specialists, right? I'm not a specialist on HVAC systems. I'm not a specialist on structural. I'm not there was brick and stucco. I'm not a specialist on that. I want to make sure I bring in the specialists, and a lot of them will do it for free. Guess what? We had an elevator company that came for free to do a full inspection because they want our business, and my management company manages 11,000 units. They want their business. So understand that you might not have to spend much money, maybe not even any, on some of these inspections. A lot of these people want contracts. Exterminator wants a contract. So they're going to come in and they're going to do an inspection, and they're going to potentially do it for free or cheap. They're going to give you a really good discount. So I oftentimes don't hire a full inspection. I might have an inspector go through a person that's an inspector go through and inspect various components. But I like to have specialized specialists that are, their company works on the HVAC systems. Their company works on the elevator systems. Their company is the extermination company. Their company is the plumbing company. So I like having specialists come in, and we want to dig into every single component of the building. And again, walk every square inch of the building. We also had architect come in this building because we've got design ideas that we want to implement into our plans. So we had an architect come. We had a designer that we actually videoed her in, but it's really important to go through that. And then the next thing we did is this morning, we met with our property management company and we went through our notes. We went through everybody's notes together. We compared notes. We discussed what was going on with the buildings, what the problems were, what the pain points were, what the good things were. And we looked back at our pro forma and looked and said, okay, where are we maybe lacking on expenses? Where are we maybe high on expenses? Where are we lacking on our income? Where are we maybe high on our income? And we went through all and put that all together in our formulated a very good plan. Now, we're still not done, right? We're waiting on some reports. We're waiting on some quotes. But we've got a really good idea of where we're going today because of our attention to detail on our physical due diligence. We still have auditing to do with the financials. We still have more work to do, but we've got a really, really good start, and that's super important. Don't skip the details. This is the first crucial step to actually being able to execute your business plan. And if you skimp over the inspection because you're excited about the deal, because some people don't want to uncover things. If you skip over the details because you're either too excited or you just don't want to uncover things, you don't want to know too much, then you're going to be in a bad position. I would rather know every single thing possible, right, and have the fewest surprises and be ready to roll day one when we take over this property. We are now increasing our budget, and we feel like we're still going to be pushing through with this project. And that's okay, but we're prepared. We're ready to go. So super important, physical due diligence. Make sure you spend your time and attention to detail. And that's all I got.